Next, I will move to the evaluation of global health landscape. There are four major trends that are challenging global health structures, leading to the changing of landscape. The first one is globalization. The increasing interdependency leaves the challenge for existing mechanism and infrastructure to deal with the evolving global health issue. Number two is emergence of new actors exercising on global issues, especially NGO private sectors. The third major trend is competing normative approach and setting new standard to global health by GHPs and other bilateral. And the last one is a shifting geopolitical order, including the formation of regional bodies and like MICOPs. So these major trends make the landscapes of the global health change. What is the beginning of the change? It's because of the AIDS pandemic since the late 1990s led to the international response with a major turning point in early 2000. The creation in 2002 of the Global Fund in response to calls made by the Secretary General of UN, Kofi Annan, was symbolic of this change. The traditional actors on the global health stage, most notably National Health Ministry and the WHO, are being joined by the new actors, including philanthropic foundations such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and new type of interventions led by public-private partnerships. This is the beginning of the change. So after that, since 2000, this is what the global health landscape looks like. You may see there are a lot more actors and stakeholders involved in the landscape. So the global health actors comprise of UN bilateral donors, other coalitions, foundations, NGO, global health partnerships, and also private sector. If you see on the right, the picture on the right, you see that there are the network, a lot of network among the actors, and the gray one, which is the NGO, is quite a large numbers. Not only actors, but also the stakeholder, because it's moving, the changing landscape also means moving from government only to more stakeholders. This is some examples of the diversity of the stakeholder in the organization. The Global Fund board stakeholders comprise of the governments, civil society, the private sector, affected communities, development agency, and UN technical agency. The UN is also guided by program coordinator board, the board representatives of 22 governments from all geographic regions. Also 5 representatives of NGO, 3 from developing countries, 2 developing countries. That is so diversity. And Gavi, the board of Gavi is comprised of 18 representative seats, 9 seats for dependent or unaffiliated individuals, and 1 seat for Gavi CEO. UNICEF, the WHO, the World Bank, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation hold permanent seats on the board. Independent board members are private individuals with no professional connection to Gavi work. The close example, if you may make you understand more easily, is Thai Health. The Board of Governance of Thai Health Promotion Foundation also has a multilateral structure chaired by the Prime Minister and with the Minister of Public Health as the first vice chairman and an independent expert as a second vice chairman. The board members comprises representatives from 9 ministries and 8 independent experts from various disciplines. So you can see that it's moving from government only to more stakeholders. The pop quiz, who is not the emerging actor in global health? Okay. Some of you answered WHO, some of you Bill and Melinda Gates. So it actually the WHO Because at the first stage, as I said, it's about the tradition actors are WHO and the government, and then they move like involved with more partners after the global fund established. That was in terms of actors. Next will be the global health financing. This will be the landscape in terms of financing. You may see from the pictures that the global health financing is increasing over the 2 decades. This is the information from 1990 to 2011, which the main funding are from direct bilateral, the dark blue one on the bottom. The budget of UN, the funding from UN is quite consistent, and there are the new partners have getting more important. It's like they play a more important role, like Global Fund on Gavi, which is you can see in the yellow table. But this only 6% of total national health spending and just 26% in low income countries, even though it's keep increasing over the years. We move to the WHO budget. The WHO have two main sources of fund, which is assets contributions and voluntary contribution. I will explain a bit about the access contribution and voluntary contribution, and you will know more about this in the next presentation. The access contribution, or AC, are the due countries pay in order to be a member of the organizations. The amount each member state must pay is calculated relative to the country's wealth and population. The voluntary contributions, or VC, come from member states in addition to their asset contribution or from other partners. Voluntary contributions can range from flexible to highly earmarked. So in the graph, the trend is the voluntary contribution, which is the dark blue bar, is getting increased every year, and the excess contribution keep decreasing. In addition, among the voluntary contribution, most of them are earmarked, which means that the WHO can use only for specific purpose or programs, not for the general purpose. So what does it mean? It shows that WHO are now facing with challenge how to work efficiently while the VC is increasing and most are earmarked. Because it creates a situation where external donors dictate the organization's priorities and action agenda. Because the most of VC made to the WHO are earmarked for program and priority driven by donor preference, rather than identified by the organization itself. The 10 in global health governance and financing, as explained before, donor controlling UN agency through freezing asset contributions and expanding earmark voluntary contribution. Direct donor support to countries and investment in GHP increased manifolds, like you see in the direct bilateral part. Controlling the money controls priority policy and the organization. The increasing role of middle income countries and non-state actors, and also the increasing role of bilateral collaboration. The pop quiz, which one is not correct? The WHO get its funding from two main sources: member state paying their excess contributions and voluntary contributions from member state and other partners. 2, voluntary contribution of VC keep decreasing over the years. 3, who faces with challenges because most of the VCs are earmarked. And 4, none of above. Which one is not correct? Yeah, everyone's answered number 2. So yes, it's number 2 because the VC keep increasing over the years. That was the global health landscape that changed. But for what's next for the global health, this is 4 important global trends for the global health in the next stage. There are 4 mega trends that could be the could affect the health issues, which are demographical trend, environmental trend, technological trend, and geopolitics trend. The first one is demographical trend, because the ratio of children to older citizens is declining. So, and the sea change in nature of illness to NCD. So of course, it lead to the health system to prepare both financing and service, and also lead to the change in the burden of disease and aging. The technology disruption. Now we are in the era of internet century. So in the next 3 or 5 years, you will see huge disruptions in many areas. Technologies are accessible for everyone, not only big companies. The cost is significant, reduce and unlock the barriers of innovation. One-on-one interactions. Mobile device mean anyone can reach anyone, anywhere, and anytime. The environmental trend can also impact humans, like the loss of water resources, the loss of fertile soil will also affect the humans' nutrition, of course. And the last is emerging of the new market. This is a geopolitical trend, of course, because you may see that it was predicted that in 2050, the China will remain the biggest market, but the number 2 is India, and the US moved to number 3. Next will be Indonesia and Brazil. So there will be a quite a big change in the next 20 or 20 years. Also, we also face with a challenge at Canada, America, and China, who will become the next leader, and how it's going in terms of politics. But this is also the trend of the global health. I will end it with the 5 metaphors about global health. We can say that there are 5 metaphors that's used to compare with, apply for the global health. The first one is global health for foreign policy. This metaphor arose from views of foreign policies using global health as tool to build alliance with other countries. The second metaphor is global health as security. Is where health policies seek to protect one's own population, focusing mainly on combating bioterrorism, infectious diseases, and drug resistance, and also including pandemic preparedness, like, of course, COVID. Global health as charity involves the promotion of health as a key element in the fight of poverty. Global health as investment is to use global health to boost the economic, such as like medical tourism. And global health as public health seek to decrease the worldwide burden of disease and maximize the potential health effects, such as promoting universal health coverage. And this is a wrap for my presentation, and thank you very much for your intention.